Abby shared with Ned. Ned had bought it several years earlier, before he and Abby had even met, but he'd done little with it. Out of a job, Abby had volunteered to take on the restoration and redecoration of the place, and she was pleased with what she had accomplished in a short time. Not that it was anywhere near finished, but she knew that old houses never were. As she turned into the driveway, she said, "I was thinking hot cocoa sounded good. You up for that?" "Have you got marshmallows?" Ellie demanded. "Of course." "Then let's do it." Abby had barely turned off the car when Ellie ran up the steps leading to the wraparound porch and stood impatiently by the front door. Abby followed and let them both in, then led the way to the kitchen at the back. As she assembled a pan, milk, and cocoa, she asked Ellie, "You have much homework?" "Nah, not really. Might take an hour." "Need any help?" "I'm good. You can get the marshmallows out of the cupboard." Ellie bounced out of her chair at the kitchen table and searched for the marshmallows, which she found quickly and brought to the table. "Got 'em." "And the cocoa's ready. Which mug do you want to use?" "The big one," Ellie said, grinning. Abby filled 2 mugs and sat down across the table from Ellie. "Anything else happening at school? I know you've got after-school activities on the days I don't pick you up." "We play soccer, sort of, but mostly that's kicking the ball around the field, and it's getting kind of cold now, and getting dark early." Abby wasn't about to ask if Ellie would like to spend another day a week at her house. She'd let Leslie negotiate that. She was startled when Ellie asked, "Can I ask you something?" She sounded serious. "Of course. What is it?" "There's a new kid who was just added to my class today." That didn't sound surprising. "And?" Ellie seemed to be struggling to find the right word, which was unusual for her. "I know this sounds bad, but he's kind of, well, different." "In what way?" Abby asked. "Well, he doesn't talk much, and he won't look at you when he does, and he's, well, kind of twitchy." Based on what little Ellie had given her, Abby thought the child was probably autistic to some degree. She'd studied a bit about that when she was training to be an elementary school teacher, but she'd never had an autistic child in any of her classes, and she couldn't recall meeting one. She did know that how much any individual child was affected varied widely and presented in different ways. "Boy or girl?" "Boy. His name's Danny." "Did the teachers say anything to the class about him?" "You mean like he's kinda odd?" "No. Mostly she said he was new and we should be nice to him. He didn't seem to care." "Did he talk to the class at all?" Ellie shook her head. "Nope. He kind of ignored everybody, even the teacher. What's his problem?" So Ellie had picked up that the kid was more than shy in front of a new class. "Sweetie, I don't know enough to say for sure, but I'm going to guess he's autistic. Do you know what that means?" "Artistic?" "No, autistic, with a U. It means it might be hard for him to communicate with other people. Like you said, he might not look directly at them. Maybe he won't speak to anyone, and he could have trouble getting along with the other people in the class. But this doesn't mean he's dumb. Lots of autistic people are actually very smart, but they can't communicate well." Which made Abby wonder why he'd suddenly been placed in a mainstream class at an unfamiliar public school. It must be hard for him. Abby noticed that Ellie was avoiding her eyes, swirling her spoon aimlessly in what was left of her cocoa. "Was there something else that bothered you?" "Maybe." She didn't look up. "He waited behind in the classroom when the rest of us were leaving. Maybe he was waiting for his mom or something. But I kind of bumped into him on my way out the door, and maybe I touched his arm or something." Abby had a sinking feeling that she knew what was going to come next. "And?" she said gently. "I felt something like, you know."